Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I hope you remember, I don't think you could forget this idiotic statement, which is the Russians attacked Ukraine unprovoked, not being provoked whatsoever. Okay, now that's garbage. I mean, if you are below 86 IQ or you really want to live in denial or have a special interest into the war in Ukraine, then yes, you're gonna ignore the facts. Maybe you remember, if you paid attention, that the Russians said the expansion of NATO towards our territory means that NATO will bring its rockets and missiles closer to our border. Remember that one? Therefore, if you bring them this much closer to us, that means the time of our reaction in case you launched a missile towards our military bases with our missiles is going to be shorter. Obviously, right? I mean, if I'm this far away from you, right? It's one thing. I can't get you with a jab. That means I have to do a little bit jump forward and then punch you in the face, or just do a switch and then kick you, right? Or something like that. So I need another move, another jump forward, so you have time to react. But if I'm like this close to you and I'm right here, I can just puck and I'm right in your face. If your face is right here and my fist is right here, right? Puck! I don't even have to do anything, not even move my shoulders or anything. The same here. If you obviously move your infrastructure closer, let me show you on the map. If you move your infrastructure, NATO, so your weapons from here, from Poland, you advance here by Bryansk, right? By Bryansk or Kursk. Look how much territory you covered. This would have been my time of reaction when you launch from here, let's say, a surprise attack. I have so much time, I have double the time to react. For instance, if I have Moscow. Moscow is right there in the north, right here. So obviously from here, from let's say Lubin, if I have the NATO rockets starting from Lubin going like this, right, I have doubled the reaction until they reach Moscow. Now, if I compare it with being launched from, let's say, right here, if I have him launched right here, I have half. So instead of having 4 minutes or 8 minutes, I will have 4 minutes. Why I say that? Because from here to Moscow is about 4 minutes. If you launch a missile, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I will show you. So that means this is 4 minutes plus another 4 minutes here. It's about, let's say, 10 minutes reaction time for the Russians. So why would the Russians want you to NATO to advance here, bring your rockets here close to the Russian capital and all that? So that was one of the reasons the Russians wanted the Western countries say no NATO over there, because guys, you're too close, we cannot react, we can't accept that. Puck! And you're right there, knock me out. We're not going to accept it. It's like we have ours in, in Montreal. Really, in Canada and Montreal. Not in Cuba. In Montreal, so you're close to Washington, D.C. and New York, which is very important. And so on. So, let me show you here how, imagine this. You're on the street and you got a guy, and the guy points a gun, a loaded gun. Let's say it's a revolver, so you can see the bullets, right? And he got against you, and you're like, oh man, you want to shoot me? And I say, no man, take it easy, I just pointed out to you, trust me, I'm not gonna shoot. Relax, don't get scared. Okay, and you say, okay, all right, but I feel better if I do this to you. And you pull your revolver with the bullets that can see over there. Well, and the guys start saying, oh, no, don't do that. You might shoot me. I don't trust you. Stop. I'm threatened. Hey, everybody, look what he's doing. This is what NATO does. NATO wants Russia not to react, bring its missiles there. But if Russia kicks them in the teeth, oh, my God, you're the aggressor. Oh, my God, you pulled a gun against me. Now, let me show you how these guys are functioning, because something that was denied to the Russians is somehow accepted to the Ukrainians. Let me show you today's article coming from the New Voice of Ukraine. And this got me to think, wait a minute, 2 minutes to midnight, like Iron Maiden's song. 2 minutes to midnight. Now, the new voice of Ukraine. 13th of December 2023. Russian ballistic missile can reach Kiev in under 2 minutes, says Air Force. So? What are you talking about, Emil? We don't have time to react. Oh, say it ain't so, Captain fucking Obvious. Alright, so it says a ballistic missile fire from Russia's Bryansk Oblast, I will show you, can reach Kiev in under 2 minutes, according to the Ukrainian Air Force spokesperson Yuri Ignat in an interview with Bababab. Okay, so under 2 minutes. We're gonna put it in like this. We're gonna say 1 minute 59. So let's say 2 minutes. It's gonna be easier for the calculation. And now let's go over the map. All right, shall we? Over the map. Right there. Where is Bryansk and where is Kiev? Kiev is right here. And Bryansk Oblast is right here, where I showed you. That's between Kiev and Moscow, which is right here at the top. Between Kiev and Moscow, there's Bryansk Oblast, right? So let's say the Russians are needing 2 minutes, according to these guys, to launch a missile from the border somewhere here, right? Bryansk. I don't know exactly where they launch it from, if farther or not. Let's say here, somewhere here. From here to Kiev, 2 minutes. 1 minute 59. Let's make it 2 minutes. So 2 minutes from here, from there to here. That means that if someone launches a missile from Kiev to Bryansk is also 2 minutes, right? Right. Now, let's look at this and Kiev versus Moscow. So, if from Kiev to Bryansk is 2 minutes, from Bryansk to Moscow is about 3 minutes, right? It's about 3 minutes because this distance is a little bit longer than, let's say, from the border to Kiev. So that's about 5 minutes Moscow-Kiev. So that means if, let's say, the NATO countries will have their missiles in Kiev, and it would, let's say, NATO, let's say Ukraine does not lose, okay, and bring it in Kiev first. I'm not going to say they bring it right here in Chernihiv. That's the second step. So the first step in Kiev. That means if they launch an attack on Moscow, it's going to be 5 minutes to Moscow. Instead of, let's say, 10 minutes, if it would be from Lubin, right here from Poland. So the Ukrainians already, NATO already won or got 5 minutes out. So they are closer, halfway. Now let's say from Kiev, they're not going to launch it from Kiev. They bring their weapons right here. And from here, definitely they have only 3 minutes. Now look at the distance and the times. 3 minutes from here to Moscow. Why would the Russian want that? Instead of being 5 minutes, it will be Kiev, or 10 minutes, Lubin. Right now it's 3 minutes. So from 10 minutes to 3 minutes. So Russia is going to have, Moscow would have a time of reaction of 3 minutes if NATO will bring its infrastructure right here in Chernihiv, Chernihiv, right here. Or in Sumy, the same way, right here in this little tip. Look at the maps, look at the distance, and look what these guys said. Under 2 minutes from Bryansk, and I showed you where the freaking Bryansk is. From Bryansk to Kiev, 2 minutes. That means if the same distance you do it from here up, you're gonna get further than Kaluga in 2 minutes. So that would be 3 minutes. Now, why would the Russians want to do that? Oh, because they're bad, because they're stupid, because they're not equal as these guys are? Now, what do you want? These guys are crying about it. It's 2 minutes, under 2 minutes, but they don't see the reverse. And they don't see this put in the NATO proposition. So now you understand, at least those guys who have doubts, why Russia could not accept NATO being in Ukraine. Do you understand that? Because that means the guy is already with a revolver out, cocked, and pointed at you. And the finger is on the trigger. That's where NATO would be. And then Russia will do this. When the guy shoots, Russia will do click. No, he's not going to have this time. He's not going to have all this time is the 10 minutes. And he's not going to have the 10 minutes. He's going to have 2 minutes. Right? 3 minutes. It's going to be... Why would they want to do this? I mean, if you want to be just, if you want to be an enemy, that's exactly what you would do. But then Russia, why would Russia take this proposition as coming from a partner? Definitely that is an enemy. Now if you look at the Europe map of Europe, and I'm going to show you right now, this is the map of the Cold War, where NATO was in the blue states, right? Blue states. It was a status quo, all right? Blue states. Besides the fact that here Finland was not a NATO country, just became now, and Sweden. So these two countries are not NATO countries. So ignore that. But I should have put NATO, all right? Which you have Turkey, but the closest was Austria, Turkey, and Norway, if I remember correctly. That's all they had right here. And remember, Moscow is here. Now Ukraine, we see Poland and Romania. Now this is where Ukraine is. Romania is right here. Poland is right here. So just understand that Ukraine and Belarus were located right here. And the Baltic states right here. So all this was buffer zone right here. All this with the Crimean, this is Crimean, oh, you don't see the Crimean Peninsula. Let me move it this way. Right here. This is the Crimean Peninsula. All this was the buffer zone. Moscow was somewhere over here in the corner up there. So now NATO got East Germany, got Czech Republic, got Slovakia, got Hungary, got almost all the countries from Yugoslavia, almost all of them, Albania, Bulgaria, Romania. So look where they are at. So the time of Russian reaction to an attack from West Germany or Norway or Turkey, look how much these guys are conquered. Let's take not only Poland, because you got here Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia right here, up to here. So look how far these guys got from France to West Germany. Now they got the same distance here. You understand? I mean, it's not hard to see all this thing. And now they want to go even closer. They want to go even closer with Ukraine, so they have even closer. Why would the Russians want this? Unless they're stupid, or I don't know, they are, how do you call them, traitors. That's why in 1991, with James Baker, the American Secretary of State, State Secretary, whatever, he spoke with, it was at that time Shevardnadze, and not only Shevardnadze, and they said no 1 inch east of NATO, no expansion, for the exact reason you are threatening our existence. You get closer and closer and closer. And now obviously they got faster technology, right? Missiles and all that. So now everything gets more accelerated. Remember, from 10 minutes, which would be Poland, which should not have been part of NATO, according to the Russians, now this, from 10 minutes, they want to get to what? To 3 minutes? They're going to nuke you. They will use nuclear weapons on you before they would accept this kind of thing. Because that means suicidal. So why should they commit suicide when they can take care of you? One nuclear weapon and everybody's going to be like, stop. It's serious. Let's stop with counting the money and all these guys. Don't push Russia to that. They're talking about their existence. They're not a game here. But these guys, for them, is a game. It's how the stock market goes. It's how the contractors, the arms, the manufacturers, contractors, the weapons manufacturers, the contractors, the banks, the profits, the energy sector. For them is an economic game. People die. Nations are destroyed for other people's interests. This is what bothers me a lot. If I were to, let's say, fight for something that I really understand and say this is for my country, like some Ukrainians think, I would be all for it. Fight until the end for your country. Be a nationalist all of a sudden, or a patriot all of a sudden. Not here, but over there only. Only over there because you fight for my interest. But someone would tell me, actually, you fight for the oil interest, like in Iraq, and I would be deployed in Iraq, fight for the interest of those companies to reconstruct an Iraq on a lie? How would you feel about it? And I'm not adding that you might come without a leg or something, or PTSD or something like that. And you're like, yes, give me the Purple Heart, give me a medal, I'm a veteran. For what exactly? Defend my freedom? I don't think Saddam would have ever cross the Atlantic, not even the Mediterranean Sea. What are you talking about? Not even the Gulf, Persian Gulf would not gone that way, let alone come here. Oh, he would move the war here. Really? That's the scare tactic. I don't buy that shit. Like right now, these guys are trying to tell me about those guys in Gaza. Or if Ukraine falls, the Russians will be bursting in your house and your wife, take your children in slavery and kill me, hang me in the first tree. I can make scenarios like this and movies like this, like these guys Spielberg's make for us at Hollywood. Another Schindler's List again? Screw them. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.